Page of the Midterm Review Packet, page 6. I'm just going to zip through these. I'm going to start with number 17. When I do something like this, I like to take them as almost like 3 different math problems. Let's focus on just this first one. I'm looking at this, and I'm thinking this is 2 over x plus 1 minus, I'm going to write it 1 over 1 all over x. For this one piece, I need a common denominator. So I'm going to multiply this by x plus 1, this by x plus 1. So now this becomes 2 over x plus 1 minus x plus 1 over x plus 1 all over x. And then I'm going to distribute the minus. So this becomes 2 minus x minus 1 over x plus 1. Which then makes 2 minus 1, so that makes 1 minus x. Ooh, I'm running out of room, so actually I'm gonna write it tinier. 1 minus x over x plus 1 all over x. So this is the process down for just this first piece. Then I'm going to minus from that this guy. This guy I'm going to do make him look like a 1. So that makes minus, change, flip him over. This becomes minus 3 over 2x. So that's what I'm going to write down right next to this guy. And now we do this guy. Is that a plus? I think it's a plus. 1 over 2x over x plus 1 over 1 plus, change, flip him over. This becomes 1 over 2x, x plus 1, and that's what I'm going to write down right here. So notice I did each piece separately. I started with him, brought him down, then next to him I wrote down all the work for this guy, and then wrote all the work for that guy. So now I have this, which I'm going to bring up here and write meter. So I have 1 over x all over x plus 1 all over x minus 3 over 2x plus 1 over 2x, x plus 1. So this guy I'm going to write as a fraction and do keep, change, flip. And when I do that, I get 1 minus x all over x, x plus 1. So I keep, change, flip this, got this guy. And now guys, I need a common denominator. So this one only needs a 2. This guy needs an x plus 1. And this one's good to go. So now this guy becomes 2 minus 2x all over 2x, x plus 1, minus 3x plus 3 plus 1 over 2x, x plus 1. Now I'm going to put everything together. Don't forget to distribute this minus. So I get 2 minus 2x, this guy, minus 3x, minus 3 plus 1. Combining like terms, let's see, we have negative 5x, okay. 2 minus 3 is negative 1. Negative 1 plus, oh, they're gone over this. And lastly, the x's can go. So I get negative 5 over 2x plus 1. So for these, just keep your work neat. Keep your work neat. Get this fraction bar bigger down here. All right. And lastly, another one of these inequalities. All right, big things when you have an inequality is you have to set it equal to 0. So I'm going to subtract the 1 over. And when I subtract the 1 over, I'm going to make it look like a fraction. I'm going to get a common denominator. Okay, I'm going to keep the denominator. And please, if you've noticed anything today, look up for all these subtractions. Be careful. So this becomes 2x minus 3 minus x minus 1. Okay. Combining like terms here, I get x minus 4 over x plus 1. So I'll draw my number line. So I've got a positive 4 and a negative 1, right? The positive 4, since it's in the numerator, gets a solid dot. The negative 1, since it makes the denominator, we're going to make it an open circle. And now I'm going to test. If I plug in 5, that makes 1 over 6. That is not less than 0. I'm going to plug in 0 now, which makes negative 4. That's negative, so I'm going to fill that in. And then I'm going to plug in negative 2. Oh, that doesn't work either. So for this guy, my interval is negative 1 to 4. There you go. Now, other things to study. I would go through that take-home sheet I gave you guys. I would go through the algebra test. I would go through the function test that I gave you. I would also practice, remember that do now where we moved, actually I'll do one with you. Let's see if I can find a blank piece of paper here. Give me 2 seconds. Let's see. Real quick final question. What if I say sketch y equals 1/2 to the x? And then I say, then sketch y equals negative 3 1/2 x plus 4, let's say, for example. All right, now this is an exponential function, right? And we know all exponential functions have to hit the point 0, 1. Now this is a decreasing exponential function because the base is less than 1. So I know the picture's got to come down and asymptote like that. So this is y equals 1/2 x, right? If you want to, so we know for a fact from this graph, we know we have the point 0, 1. If you want to get a second point, if you plug 1 in for x, you'd be 1 and 1/2. Sometimes if you have 2 points, that's good too. All right, now we want to do this guy to it. So the negative, right, so I'm going to do scratch work. So right now I know I have this picture. Okay. Oops, not even on the camera. I have scratch work down here. Now, it's negative. Negative is a reflection over the x-axis. So that means it's now going to become that. And now the point 0, 1 and the point 1, 1/2 become 0, negative 1 and 1, negative 1/2. So that's what the negative out in front would do. Now there's a 3 out in front, which means these are going to get multiplied by 3. So that becomes 0, negative 3. And this becomes 1, negative 3 over 2. So 0, 3, 2. So now here, right? And this would be negative 1.5. So the picture goes like this. Now notice the horizontal asymptote didn't change because that's the equation y equals 0. And if you multiply that by negative 3, it's still 0. The picture just got stretched out. Now the final thing is to add on 4. So if I add 4 onto this, I get 0, 1. And if I add 4 onto this, this is negative 1.5. It becomes 2.5. So now this is how we're going to go back to our original picture. Go back to the original picture. Now, the plus 4 affects the horizontal asymptote. It's no longer here at y equals 0. It's now going to be up at 4. Okay? We know we're still hitting the point 0, 1. But now we also know we're hitting the point 1, 2.5, which is about here. And the picture flipped over. So now the graph is going to look like this. All right, and that was one other question I was going to throw on the board if I had time today. So there you go, guys. That's your midterm review. I will see everybody